Hello, and welcome to the Karmic Backpack, laying down what was never yours to carry. I'm going to tell you a story about a story that you were born carrying. This is a story you didn't choose, a story you didn't create, a story woven into your body, your breath, your blood. In your tiny newborn hands, you received a backpack filled not with gifts, but with griefs. Griefs that were never grieved, fears that were never faced, dreams that were never allowed to live, shame that was swallowed and passed along generation after generation. Here, they said, carry this, don't ask questions, don't look inside, just keep moving. And you, bright, brave soul that you are, you carried it. You carried it so well, you forgot it was even there. But somewhere deep inside, your body remembered, your breath remembered, your bones remembered, and now you are remembering too. This backpack wasn't created out of malice. It wasn't some cruel trick. It was survival. It was all they knew. Your ancestors, your parents, your culture, they were carrying their own backpacks too, heavy with the weight of wars, poverty, oppression, loss, heartbreak, survival patterns that never had a place to land. No one taught them how to set it all down. No one showed them how to look inside and empty it out. So they tightened the straps, they pressed forward, and when their time came, they passed the backpack to you. Not because they didn't love you, but because they didn't know any other way. Over time, all that unresolved energy, the fear, the scarcity, the guilt, the grief, didn't just live in behaviors. It didn't just live in family traditions or ways of being. It embedded itself deeper into the body, into the bloodline, into the DNA, like a cosmic flash drive, coded not just with your hair color or eye color, but with patterns. Patterns of abandonment, patterns of silence, patterns of overgiving, patterns of fear disguised as loyalty. These patterns are why sometimes you feel emotions that make no sense to your life story. They're why you sometimes find yourself reacting as if you were carrying someone else's memories, because you are. The flash drive doesn't just carry biology. It carries emotional imprints. It carries survival maps built for wars you never fought, wounds you never personally received, and fears you never consciously chose, but they live inside you until you choose otherwise. You're not imagining it. You're not broken. You're not failing. You're just carrying an invisible weight that was never yours to carry forever. If the backpack was heavy, there was once a time when humans at least had a way to set it down. Piece by piece, breath by breath, they had ways to move emotion through their bodies, ways to return grief back to the earth, ways to let pain sing itself out of their bones. They grieved together around fires. They cried into rivers. They danced their sorrow into the soil. They laid bare their heartbreak to the stars. They howled and wept and sang, and the land, the sky, the water, all received them. There were ceremonies, seasons, rites of passage, sacred spaces for the messy, holy truth of being human. Pain was never meant to be hoarded. It was meant to be honored, expressed, alchemized, and released. Emotion wasn't pathology. It was life moving through life. But something shifted. Bit by bit, those pathways were severed. Colonization, religious conquest, industrialization, wars that scattered communities and shattered traditions. The old ways of grieving were criminalized, demonized, and erased. And into the silence that followed, new systems moved in. Instead of singing your grief to the river, you were handed a television. Instead of sitting by the fire in the company of elders, you sat alone in front of flashing screens. Instead of being taught how to listen to your body, you were taught how to obey bells, deadlines, algorithms. Instead of being shown how to move emotion through dance, song, and ceremony, you were told to toughen up, get over it, be normal. The new programming said, don't feel that. Smile anyway. Buy something to make yourself feel better. Stay busy, stay small, stay distracted. So it's not that you failed to process your emotions. It's that you were severed from the ancient pathways that made it possible. You were handed a karmic backpack and then stripped of the maps that would show you how to set it down. You weren't broken, you weren't weak, you were conditioned, you were programmed. But beneath all of it, beneath the layers of silence and survival, your body never forgot. Your breath never forgot. Your soul never forgot. So right now, just take a breath. Just breathe in. Feel the truth moving under your skin. Feel the remembering stirring inside of you. Not because you're broken, but because you are whole enough to remember. You might be wondering, if the karmic backpack has been around for so long, if grief and fear and pain were always part of the story, how did earlier humans not collapse under the weight? Did they figure it all out? Were they just more spiritually evolved? Did they know some sort of ancient secret we forgot? Honestly, not exactly. They didn't figure it out the way we like to imagine. They felt it out. The reason they could carry it, the reason they could survive it without drowning, was because they were still connected. They were connected to the land beneath their feet, the cycles of the moon, the rivers that sang grief back into beauty, the fires that transmuted sorrow into story, the trees that listened without needing to fix anything. They didn't need an app to remind them to be mindful. They didn't need a therapist to tell them it was okay to cry. They had the earth, they had each other, they had the living field of life itself to hold them. Were they perfect? No. They made mistakes. They fought wars. They felt loss. They carried their own shadows. But they stayed in relationship with the world around them. When grief rose, they didn't silence it. They cried it into the soil. They danced their rage into the sky. They sang their love into being. They didn't just talk about emotions. They moved them, lived them, transformed them through connection. And the disconnection we feel now, the heaviness of the karmic backpack, it didn't come because humans stopped being strong enough. It came because the natural pathways to release, to remembrance, were cut off. You were never meant to carry it alone. You were never meant to carry it in silence. You were never meant to carry it forever. You were meant to feel it, move it, alchemize it, and then lay it down. Just like the rivers that swell and then soften, just like the trees that let go of their leaves when the time is right. You were designed to be a living part of life's endless turning. And now, here you are, standing at the edge of your inheritance, the backpack still resting on your shoulders, the old stories still humming inside your cells, and something inside you, something fierce, something tender, Something ancient has stirred. It would be so easy to keep walking, to keep carrying, to keep repeating. It would be so easy to tighten the straps and call it destiny, call it tradition, call it normal. But you are doing something different. You are stopping. You are turning around. You are opening the backpack and you are daring to look inside. And that takes a courage few will ever understand. Because when you open it, you don't just find your own pain. You find generations of it. You feel the sorrow your mother never spoke. You feel the terror your grandfather never named. You feel the grief of lost lands, lost songs, lost ways. And you realize you've been carrying it all along. This moment, this opening, is not a weakness. It is the greatest act of strength your lineage has ever seen. You are not collapsing under the weight. You are choosing to no longer carry what was never yours to hold. Right now, you stand at a threshold. You can keep carrying the backpack, tightening the straps, handing it down to those who come after you, or you can set it down. You can bless it. You can grieve it. You can thank it for getting your ancestors this far. And you can choose something different. You can choose to remember the field beyond survival. You can choose to become the living coherence your lineage has been praying for, even if they didn't have the words to ask. You can choose to be the turning point, the place where the old stories end and the new songs begin. And maybe right now you're feeling it. The ache, the tremble, the weight you didn't even know you were carrying until you stopped pretending it wasn't there. And maybe part of you is asking, okay, I see it, I feel it, now what? The mind can't set the backpack down. It will try. It will think about it, analyze it, philosophize about it. But the mind can't carry what the body has held. And the mind can't release what the body needs to move. The body, your body, is the portal. The body is the place where the backpack opens, where the grief is honored, where the rage is sung, where the sorrow is danced, where the stories are felt, blessed, and laid to rest. Right now, take a breath, breathe into your chest, feel the edge of your skin, feel the hum of your breath. Notice the weight you're carrying, not with judgment, not with shame, just notice. Notice where you feel tightness. Notice where you feel tired. Notice where you feel tender. That is the map. That is the way in. And you don't have to intellectualize this. You were born knowing how to move what is heavy. You were born knowing how to cry, to shake, to tremble, to breathe it through. If grief rises, let it move. If anger rises, let it roar through your breath, your body, your bones. If numbness rises, let it be honored without forcing anything to change. You don't have to do it all at once. You don't even have to do it perfectly. You don't have to explain it to anyone. You only have to trust the wisdom of your own living field to show you how to let go. Piece by piece, breath by breath, tear by tear, shake by shake, until the backpack isn't something you're dragging anymore, until it becomes something the earth herself can compost and transform. You are not collapsing. You are not failing. You are completing a cycle that has waited generations to be completed. Through you, what was frozen is moving. What was buried is breathing. What was abandoned is being welcomed home. through you, the field is remembering itself. So you have seen it now. You've felt it. The backpack, the stories, the weight that was never yours to carry forever. You honored it, you breathed with it, you listened to what it carried, and now you are ready. So right now, if you want to, close your eyes, take a deep breath into your body. Feel the outline of your skin. Feel the hum of your own field. And imagine the backpack slipping from your shoulders. Feel the straps loosening. Feel the weight falling away. Feel the old stories, the old griefs, the old patterns sliding down into the soil where the earth, who has always loved you, knows exactly what to do with them. They are not wasted. They are not wrong. They become compost. They become wisdom. They become nourishment for something new. You don't have to carry them anymore. You never did. Now, place your hands, if you want to, over your heart, over your belly, over any place that feels tender. Feel the space you just cleared. Feel the lightness and listen closely. Beneath the silence, a new song is beginning. It's the sound of your field coming back online, the sound of your soul remembering its true shape, not weighed down by generations of survival, not buried under programs of fear, alive, awake, whole. You are not just healing yourself. You are healing your lineage. You are healing the field. You are singing a new song into the fabric of life itself. If it feels good to say this, say it, or just listen. I am the living field. I am the turning point. I lay down what was never mine to carry. I bless what came before me. I open the way for what comes after me. I am the coherence. I am the song. It ends here. It begins here. It begins with me.